Yeah, the emotions are still pretty high. Proud would be the major emotion. I think the effort and the ability shown by the players throughout the game was outstanding. The courage and the fitness to keep on going and being accurate with 10 minutes to go was great to see and encouraging for the future. And also the belief within the squad that even though New Zealand might have scored a try and we were down by 12 points, I think it was, we're going back there. So that's great. I think it generated a brilliant atmosphere. It was one of the best I've experienced watching a game. Probably John will agree that it would have been great to play in. It was a brilliant test match. Even the first half at 3-3 I thought was a great test match. It was intense, competitive, and look, we're obviously disappointed that we had a chance at the end. We had a lot of pressure in that second half, a lot of territory, won a lot of penalties close to the line, and just to not get that final try is disappointing, but it's a huge effort from our players and we can take a lot from that game.
For some of the predictions that came in about what New Zealand were going to do to Scotland here, did they always make a statement today?
Look, I don't know anything about that. We knew we'd be much better this week, and we knew we had to be much better this week. First in defence, thought our defensive effort was outstanding. We pressed hard. We competed at the breakdown. We got back on our feet to tackle again, and that sometimes forced mistakes from New Zealand in the first half, but also forced them into a different game plan. I believe they were kicking a bit more than maybe they set out to do, and gave us possession, and we used that possession pretty well in the first half. Thought we used it even better in the second half, and that the players showed what they're capable of. Keeping that level up every time we play is a tough thing, so we've got to get back out there next week and show we're an even better team.
Man of the match award for Stuart Hogg, what can you say to his performance out there?
Yeah, it was great. I think there was an energy about us at training yesterday. We probably did more than we normally do. There was an energy about the warm-up today. You could just tell the players are really focused, and guys like Stuart and Finn wanted to get on ball. They wanted to take the game to the opposition. That's all you can hope for from a coach, that these players really want to go out there and play. So Stuart dominated in the air. Thought his decision making, when to kick, when to run, was great, and then he looked obviously very dangerous and absolutely lightning at the end. Just a pity we couldn't end up with a try.
What were you thinking when he did skip through?
I was up on my feet because I think it was Mackenzie's tackle. I thought he must be quick to go past Mackenzie, and it just looked like he was going to go the whole way. He was so determined. But Bowden Barrett's pretty quick too, and he managed to get that cover tackle. And John was joking there because that was us 5 points behind, and we were pretty guaranteed that Finn Russell would kick the conversion from the touchline. He seems to like those ones easier than the ones in front. It's just a shame we didn't get that opportunity, but it was a great effort right to the end.
John, I know it's hard to assess the game so close afterwards, but was that one of the best test matches you've been involved in?
I think that was a proper test match, isn't it? It's, it just went back and forth, and at 3-3 you probably wouldn't, if you just looked at that on a piece of paper, you'd probably think, it's probably a boring game if you just flicked on to Twitter or whatever. But I think both teams were trying to play with tempo and play with aggression and intent, and I think you saw two teams who were going at it hard. I think Gregor touched on that. We went 12 points behind and we still kept going. We had a great mentality today to have a go. We knew the All Blacks were a very dangerous side and you can't sit off them. So that was a good match. We're obviously we're gutted. That's we feel like that's maybe the one that got away. But on the other hand, obviously very proud of how we played and the effort and the intensity and what we did out there.
John, is there a particular play that it wasn't just those old kind of qualities of up and at them and grit? There was some real kind of ambition and accuracy there as well. Yeah, and I think I alluded to it on Twitter a couple of months ago with the Scarlets game, where we went away and you could see the sort of headlines of brave. We put in a brave performance, but I think that undervalues the skill and the intensity, and it's very hard to play at that level and that speed with skill. And I think that's not brave. That's skill. And you see someone like Stuart Hogg and Finn and Hugh. These guys. This is proper skill under pressure, under fatigue, and that's the exciting thing for the team.
John, when Huggy got away, did you think you'd done it?
Yeah, I was about. I think
You were
about,
up on his shoulder, weren't you?
I think I was about 7 yards. I think the video showed I was about 17 yards behind him. But yeah, like he just had one of those games where every time he touched it, he looked like he was going to make a break. And when he went through, I thought, oh, here we go. He's going to go round him. And like on another day, maybe he slips that last tackle. And Stuart's got he didn't get around him, but the way he's played, it's just one of those things. And I think you're playing against one of the best teams in world sport. So it's great that we got to the last play and we had a kick off from our own 22 and got down to their 5 metre line, and that's all you can ask.
John, is it important in these types of games against a team like New Zealand? Bowden Barrett's try was just out of this world and it took them 12 points clear. Is it just important to say, right, there's not much we could have done about that, forget about it, and let's get back at it?
Yeah, that was generally the talk. Their tries were kind of, I can't remember, I think they scored 3. And they all seemed like, kind of, 2 of them in particular were kind of one-offs, if you will. So the focus on the post was under the post was just, look, let's get back up there. We're dangerous when we've got the ball. Let's not dwell too much on what's just happened. And I think we had a great sort of next play mentality today. We weren't too fussed about what's happened before or what was going to happen. At the end of the game, it was right. Let's get back into them, and I think that really showed out there.
Doddy came on to the park before the game and presented the match ball, and there was a real feeling. I don't know if you felt this bit around the stadium. Gave everyone a real lift, and you could see people looking at each other thinking maybe this could be a special evening for Scotland. Were you aware of that sense going around the stadium?
I think when the All Blacks come into town, is you feel the excitement. But when Doddy walked out, it was pretty special. You could see he was quite emotional. Some of the players got quite emotional. It means a lot to have Doddy and to be able to play that game for him today, for what he's going through. So. But the atmosphere today was, I'd say, probably the best. It's easy to come up here and make big statements, but I think that probably was the loudest and the most passionate I've ever heard Murrayfield.
Gregor, you used the width of the field really well. Is it an area that you identified as a weakness of All Blacks defence?
No. I think it's if you've got to manipulate a defence. I felt the forwards did a lot of hard work around the ruck that maybe didn't look like they were making huge yards, but it just narrowed the defence a little bit. And I felt when you've got possession as well, a lot of our players were making good decisions on whether to carry or to play out the back to a back to play wider. And the more we got into the game, the more possession we got, those decisions became clearer or easier for our 10s, especially for Finn Russell and Stuart Hogg, who's working as a second receiver a lot of times. But both teams, John said it earlier, both teams wanted to play a real high tempo, and it's credit to our players that they were able to handle that tempo that the New Zealand played at, but also switched on when we had the ball. I thought, yeah, if you keep ball, if you do your jobs and go forward and you're accurate, there's always going to be a space you can attack in the defence.
Are the All Blacks hard to game plan for, or are they predictable to a degree?
Well, there's two sides of a game plan, so it's what you do in defence, what you do in attack. I think defence, we knew we had to get up and not let them play. We'd seen other teams that had stood off them, and they're the most dangerous side in the world if you allow these players time to make the right decision, and they're very, very good one-on-one. And you saw that from the try. Sonny Bill's offload to Damien McKenzie is world class. But most of the time we got up, we shut down their options, we slowed down their ball with good tackles, and then when it was on to keep beat for ball. And on the other side you've got the game plan and attack, and we want to play a game that brings out our strengths, that's a game at pace, suits the way that we feel we can put pressure on teams. And a lot of the game planning as well changes when you get on the field and suddenly there's more space over there, there's less space, or they're suddenly putting people in the front line, we can kick in behind. And a lot of our key decision makers, especially our halfbacks, did that very well today.
A few injuries to contend with for you. Luke Hamilton's a nasty one. What's the initial session?
Yeah, well, obviously losing, I thought Hamish Watson had started the game really, really well. So losing him was a blow. Luke Hamilton, his first cap, and a position we probably see is third position. We see him more as a 6 and an 8. I thought he was outstanding for the period he was on. Some couple of really good carries. He's done his ankle, and we know already it's not a break because he's had an X-ray. But we'll get a scan now tonight. We'll find out more tomorrow. And I felt that the players that came on, with Stuart McAnally had to go back into his former position in the back row. Players had to adjust with injuries. We had players coming on for the first cap or second cap. I thought they did really well.
You were right.
Sorry, just how different this feels. It's still a defeat to New Zealand, we've experienced that before, but does it feel different after that performance?
That's a pretty hard one to answer. I think the way we're trying to play is obviously the right way. And I've not played New Zealand for a number of years, and obviously last time we ran them pretty close. But the way we're playing, and we're trying to go out and pressurise teams and with and without the ball. So I guess in that regard, yes. But also, it's you're never going to be happy, especially to get so close to a side like New Zealand to just not quite go over the line.
What did you say at half